Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another segment of Zara Unfiltered. I'm Zara Farami, and thank you for sharing your time with me today on my platform. For those of you, if it's your first time, this is a safe space, like I always say, where we get to discuss the wonderful thing called life and all the highs, and unfortunately, some of the lows that are associated with it. So, once again, welcome. Okay, so by the time I post this video, it's going to be February, the second month in the year 2021. So that means we still have a long road ahead of us. We still have a lot of, unfortunately, challenges ahead of us, as well as beautiful memories that still need to be made. And last week's video, I was talking about how I learned in 2020 that rejection can be one of life's most beautiful gifts. And I want to continue on with the lessons that I learned in 2020. And I hope we can use some of them in our remaining 10 plus months in the year 2021 so we don't make the same mistakes that we made in the past. And so that's why this next series of videos are going to be the 20 lessons that I learned in 2021. Oh, sorry. That I learned in 2020. I'm so sorry, but I learned them for 2021. And I don't want to make these videos too long because I know everybody has busy lives, they have busy schedules. So I'm going to break the videos out. I think in this video, I should be able to get to 3 points that kind of are interwoven and kind of relate to each other. So let's get started. All right, so let's get started and jump right in. I have my little cheat sheet, so please excuse me if I'm looking down. But I think the first lesson and one of the major lessons that 2021 taught me was that no position is permanent. Whether it's a good position, whether it's a bad position, nothing is permanent. This time last year, things were still moving business as usual until March happened and literally the whole world closed down, as we know, because of COVID-19. Businesses had to change strategies last minute. People's lives were literally turned upside down. And what we thought, because we all seem to have plans for our lives, we have an idea where we want to go, but 2020 showed that what you expect and what happens aren't always the same exact thing. And I realized that very early on is that nothing is permanent. I know in my own personal life, in my place of work, we had so many plans, we had so many ideas, we had so many things we wanted to implement. We're not even able to implement them until now, a whole year later, because of what happened with COVID-19. Nothing is permanent. There are so many people who lost a lot, unfortunately, because of COVID-19. They were on top of the world, and because of that, like I know a lot of people lost a lot of money. People lost loved ones, unfortunately. So many things happened. It was a lot of loss for a lot of people last year. And on the flip side, though, some people, it was the best year for them. Like there were a lot of blessings hid inside of 2020. I heard someone, I was watching a YouTuber, she said in her own personal business, she made the most money she's ever made in 2020. A business that was struggling before, but because things had changed, like I said, things were no longer done business as usual. Her business that was struggling skyrocketed. So I guess at this point, what I'm trying to say is that when you're on top, be prepared for the worst. Like we expect and we hope for the best, but anticipate that things may go bad. Always have a contingency plan in the back in case things don't go as expected. And if things aren't going that well for you, that means there's hope. That's good. That means there's a hope. There's a chance for things to get better. There's a chance for the days to get brighter. So like I said, the one lesson that 2020 taught me was that no position is permanent. All right, the second thing that I learned in the year 2020 was not to think that I am above a certain situation. Don't have this mentality that, oh, it's happening to everybody, it can't happen to me. I was so guilty of this that, oh, this can't happen to me. 2020 was a beautiful year, but it was also a trying year. You know how many people got sick and they didn't expect it to happen to them? Do you know how many people lost their jobs, unfortunately, and they didn't think it was going to happen to them? So many things I didn't think could happen to me happened to me. And I hate to say it was like the arrogance of my mindset in a way that I'm invincible. And this is another thing, right? This is where I feel like I'm guilty. And I don't know if anyone else is guilty of this. Like, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I feel sometimes, I'm sorry I'm going off on a tangent, that like I said, I'm guilty. I take for granted the grace of God. So many times I'm like, oh, this can't happen to me because God got my back. Jesus has my back. God is looking out for me. Yes, God is looking out for you, but you don't test God. And I realized there was so many times it was just like I would use that as like a cop-out or as an excuse, like, oh, I can do this because God got my back. This can happen because God got my back. God has my back. God is looking out for me, but at the same time, he's given us common sense. And I do not always apply common sense. And that's why I ended up with a lot of results that I did not want to end up with because of that mentality. Like I said, it was arrogance on my part, thinking, oh, I can do whatever. God got me. I can do this. This can't happen to me. Like, and it also goes back to what makes me think I'm better than the other people that some of these unfortunate situations are happening to, you know? So I learned that don't think you're above a certain situation. Anything can happen to anyone at any time. Like, that's one thing 2020 taught me. Have your guard up. Be alert. Don't feel that you are above this. We're all human. No one is better than anyone else. We're all going through this journey together. So may God help us as we continue on. All right, and I think the last point that I'm going to hit on in this video, like I said, I have all my points. I just want them all to gel. And I'm still figuring out how to make some of these points gel and not seem like random all over the idea points. But nonetheless, the last point that I want to make in this video is to be open to new experiences, be open to new ideas, because what you're looking for may be on the other side. Like I said, 2020 was trying. 2020 was a year that made me learn you need to be alert. Anything can happen at any time. And that being said, we need to know how to rebound when those unexpected things happen. And I learned this when I was in counseling with one of my pastor friends, because I was like, we were talking about something, a specific area of my life, and he said to me, be open. Open your heart, open your mind, be open to something that you normally would not do. A lot of these companies that survived 2020, because believe it or not, a lot of companies went a lot of companies went under in 2020. A lot of the companies that survived, they had to step out of what they normally would do. They had to step out of their comfort zone. They had to be open to adopt new ideas, new ways of doing things. Like I said, it's not always going to be business as usual. And the ones who survived, the ones that are still standing, were the ones that embraced that fact that things cannot always be done how we normally do them. So many companies, so many people that said, oh no, we can never let people telework. All their employees are teleworking now. And so many people, from what I've heard, they're trying to make it a permanent fixture in their organizations. So be open, embrace new ideas. Like me personally, like I said, I was talking to one of my pastor friends about it. Once I was open about certain things, once I allowed myself to embrace new positive ideas, new positive ways of thinking, one of the best blessings of my life I received as a result of that, you know? And I sometimes think, I'm like, what if I would have stayed closed-minded or just insisted on doing things business as usual? I probably wouldn't have received the blessing that I received. And I'm so thankful and so grateful to God for that. So again, I keep repeating myself. 2020 was trying. It was difficult. 2021, we still have more of it to go through than we've already completed. So we don't know what lies ahead. We need to, like I said, hope for the best, pray for the best, but be alert that things can happen at any time. Things can throw us off our games at any time. We need to be alert. We need to make sure we're not caught off guard. We need to be able to rebound and stand. If we're pushed to the side, like, okay, I may have lost my balance for a second, but I'm still standing. I'm still going to move forward. I'm still going to reach my goal. And my prayer for everybody is that all the goals that we have set for ourselves in the beginning of 2021, may we all achieve them in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. I don't want to take much more of your time. Thank you for sharing your time. And anyone that watches these videos, even though this is still a growing platform, I am so grateful because I always say time is a currency you cannot get back. If you lose $1, you can make it back. But if you even use 2 minutes, 3 minutes watching one of my videos, you can't get that back. So I am so grateful for your time and for sharing it with me. So next week, we're going to continue on. Hopefully, I'll get more than 3 topics in, because if I only do 3, that's going to be like 6+ videos, and there's a lot more to talk about. So next week we're just going to continue on with more of the lessons that I learned in 2020. Please share these videos with anyone who you feel may be going through something, who you feel may be able to benefit from them. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, your family, everybody. All right, everyone, thank you. I hope you have a beautiful week ahead, and welcome to the month of February. Have a beautiful month ahead. God bless. Bye.